Hey guys, charmedwench here and welcome back to my channel. And as you can see by the look on my face and today's title, we are doing a Halloween look. This is my lifted off face of it. This is going to be a rushed intro because my battery is about to die, but if you would like to see how I created this look, then carry on watching.
Right guys, so this is the first time I've ever tried the gluing down of the eyebrows, and it was quite simple. I just had a little look on YouTube, followed a bit of a tutorial, well, memorized one, and basically I'm just taking the glue stick. I've combed my eyebrow hairs upwards so they'll lay flatter, and I'm running the glue stick in a long line with that as well. Also, the video I did watch, I think it was Jordan Hands, she said if you dip your finger in a little bit of water, it makes it easier to blend out the edges of the brow so it looks a little bit more smooth. Now I'm just taking some setting powder and I'm just bouncing that on with the beauty blender and just pounding all the hairs down and making sure the glue is all dry. I probably could have layered this up a little bit more, but I had to do the school run after this look was filmed, so I didn't want to go too crazy in case I couldn't get it off, so I went with this and it seemed to do the job. So now I'm taking my Millani foundation, and this is just the sort of like the beauty side of the face, so I'm just going to do a quick and simple easy like a pretty kind of makeup basically. So I'm just applying my foundation on that one side where the eyebrow you can actually see. This is just the Collection Lasting Perfection concealer, and I'm just concealing my under eye area as I always do. And this is a Model Co contour stick, so I'm just doing that rather than, I think I do powder contour as well, but I really do like this Model Co contour stick. It's really nice. And that is the Bella Pierre banana powder. I'm just going to set that under eye area. And then while that's setting, I'm just going to set the rest of my face with the Revolution Pro HD fixing powder. HD powder. Now I'm taking the Physcians Formula bronzer, which the lovely Julie Barber sent me, and I love it. Still haven't hit pan. I'm so pleased I haven't. And this is a Revolution blush palette, and I'm just applying a bit of blush. Brushed off that contour as well. And this is the Revolution brow pomade, and I'm just going to apply the one brow because obviously the other one isn't there. And this is the Lunatick Cosmetick palette, and I forget the name. Which I really should know the name because it's my favourite all-time palette. It's the Supernatural palette, and I love the colours in this palette. These are just such pretty colours together. It really complements my skin tone, I think, which is why I reach for this one a lot. I will be so sad if I ever hit pan on this palette, but it's absolutely amazing. I'm using the colours Myth was the first colour I applied, and Reincarnation and Ghoul Light and Spook are all the colours that I used. I pretty much used every colour in the palette actually, now that I've come to think of it. I just like sort of layered them all over and blended them out, and they just blend out so beautifully and they just look really, really nice. Kind of wanted to keep that side of my face on after I'd finished this look. My camera did cut off. I did apply the Renaisannce Flick eyeliner, and then I went into the Vampire palette and I used the colour Nephros just to set the black eyeliner. And now I'm going into the Lottie London AM to PM to line my waterline, and the Soap & Glory Thick and Fast mascara to do my eyelashes. Now I am just mapping out where I want the lifted face area to be. As you can see, it takes me a minute before I'm quite happy with it. I'll rub it off, start again, and then I just work it out from there. And anybody can do that part of it. It's just about working out what's best for you and your head and your face shape and how much room and area you've got to work with. So it took me a half a second, but it's easy enough to clean up and try again. So now I'm taking the white Snazzaroo face paint, and I really wish I'd used this for my Morticia Addams look because it looks so much better than what that white foundation did. And basically you just build up the layers of this white face paint until you're happy, and it was really quick and easy to build up. Just make sure you always let your layers dry before you apply over the top, because you can pull off the layers that are underneath and then it just ends up being a mess. But yeah, just paint the other side of my face white completely, and then we move on to the next bit. Now we're taking the Elvira palette and the colour in Bone, and I am just setting my eyelid. I was going to set my entire face, but then I thought better not, because I'm going to apply more face paint afterwards. So I just did the eye for the eye makeup look. I set that with the colour Bone. Now we're going into the Revolution Dead or Alive palette, Dead or Alive, Dead or Alive palette, and the colour that I'm using at the minute is Transition. I'm just kind of using it as a transition shade. It is the colour, if I can get the palette open, it is the colour Whale. I should have known that. It's the colour Whale, and I'm just kind of using that as a transition shade before I go over with the black, which you will see shortly. And I could go up higher with this, because obviously I haven't got a brow, so I could bring it up really nice and high. It was quite nice to have a higher eyebrow bone area to work with. It was really cool. And staying with that same palette, the Dead or Alive, and we're in the colour Freak now, and we're just applying that and blending it over the top of the Whale colour, and just bringing it all out and blending it round down into the inner corner, and we also blend it right out at the sides, and we also bring it in underneath the lower lash line and just blend it all out in that eye socket area. Like literally your whole entire eye socket is going to be covered in this colour Freak. I've never used so much black eyeshadow in all my life lately. It's really cool. I'm starting to love the colour of black eyeshadow on myself. I don't usually like it, but I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit, so I might wear a little bit more, I think. So as you can see, I'm bringing that down with like a smaller fluffy brush. Just bring it into the, I'm going to call it the eye bag area, and just blending that right out. This was just a case of working with it until I was, you know, happy with how it was looking. So I wanted that gaunt sort of look going on, but I also really wanted it to blend out, fade out really nicely along the edges. So I just worked at it until I was happy. And now we are taking our red Snazzaroo face paint, and we're going to create our It face, the iconic face lines that is It. This I thought was going to be a little bit difficult over the glued area, but I found if I angled the brush to the side rather than long strokes downwards, it worked better, because some of the glue was a little bit uneven, but I don't think you can tell too badly. It looks alright. Definitely need to work on my eyebrow gluing technique though, because I'd really like to do more looks where I completely cover my eyebrows up and paint on some completely different eyebrows. I think I might have to try that out at some point. So now I'm just, I was going to put like a red lipstick on, and I thought, do you know what, I may as well just paint my lips red instead and just go with the colour that I'm using. Rather than faff around with other products, I just painted my lips red. And now I am going to paint on the iconic lines that are below the run into the mouth. I actually was a bit worried that I wouldn't get this okay, but I actually found it easy to draw on. So just overthink it too much and it seems to work better. I get that a lot with a lot of the looks that I do. And now I'm obviously painting my nose. This took me a little bit longer because I was being a little bit too, I was trying to get it too even basically. So in the end I just looked at it and was like, okay, I'm happy with this, I'm going to leave it as it is, because otherwise I would have just kept going and painting and messing around with it, but just because sometimes I just can't leave things alone. I should just be happy sometimes of how things turn out. So once we have our red nose on, we are going in to draw on the wrinkles now. I thought they turned out okay. I could have done better in my eyes. I think that they didn't look as realistic as I wanted them to. Basically, I'm just taking a cheap eyeliner right now and I'm just marking out where I wanted it to look like it was wrinkling up. And then we're going back into the Dead or Alive palette and I'm taking the shade Haunt. It's like a brownie sort of shadowy looking colour. So I just... Actually, no, we're not. Ignore me. We've gone back into the colour Freak because I wanted to add some depth to the edge of where it looks like my face is lifting. So I focused it where I thought the light would hit it and made it look like shadowy and thicker in those areas. And the shadow line sort of decreases in the areas where I think not as much light would hit, if that makes sense. But I just kept working with the shadowy colour, well, the Freak colour, until I was happy with how that edge looked. I actually found this bit quite therapeutic to do. I really enjoyed this half. I could have just left it there and not done the wrinkles, I reckon, and I reckon it would still been, I'd have still liked it. But I wanted to add it so it looked like my face was, I could lift my face up from the side. So it's the first time I've ever tried it and I think it's not bad for a first go. I reckon if I was to do it again I'd take a little bit more time on the wrinkles, but you'll see that as I get there in a minute. So like I said, this is the colour Haunt, and it's like a shadowy brown, like I said, and I'm just sort of I did reach for a little fluffy brush, but I felt like it wasn't right, so I think I changed brushes to a more pointy brush so that I could be more intricate. And I just sort of ran that along the lower parts where I thought the shadowy areas would be, and just focused that on each wrinkle point and sort of blended it out. I think I should have took my time a little bit more with this. I think it would have looked a lot better. But overall it's not too bad. So this is the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk. I just used this to focus on the highlights of the wrinkles where I thought the light would hit. So it kind of, well, it was supposed to give like a 3D effect, so it looked like my skin was literally wrinkling as I lifted it away. I totally could have done better at this, I think. I don't know. You guys, I'm sure, will let me know. But yeah, I could have worked harder on those wrinkles, I think, and they would have looked really, really good. But it's not a bad, for a first attempt, like I said, it's not a bad go. And I'm going back into that colour Freak again, and I'm just gonna, I felt like it needed a little bit more depth to it, so I just sort of added like a light contour area sort of in the cheekbones. It seemed to finish off the look really, really good, so I was quite pleased with that. I think I'm talking to my partner right now as I'm applying the makeup, because I actually filmed this in the day before the school run. I wasn't quite happy with the eye look at the bottom, so I went into the Elvira palette. Elvira? Yes, it was the Elvira. And I took the red shade and I just blended that in the eye bag area. And it looked really good at the finish.
And that's the finished look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. I've never tried the gluing down of the eyebrows before. It's something completely different and new. I've never tried the shading and things like that. I think it turned out really well. I hope you guys loved it too. Again, a short outro because my battery is about to die, but I really hope you enjoyed this look, guys. So if you did, subscribe, and if you give me a big thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. But there will be another one, maybe two more Halloween looks to come, so I hope you stay tuned for that. Subscribe and you'll see. But that's it for this time, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.